So good morning. I woke up kind of ill today. In the middle of the night I got this like pretty excruciating headache. And I'm still really not feeling good. So I think I'm gonna stay home and actually write. Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about how it might be nice if I just didn't do anything, but that just doesn't feel right to me anymore, which isn't right in and of itself because it's good to do nothing sometimes. But anyway, but I wanted to like tell you guys something. I had this fairly big epiphany. So what I was thinking about was this idea of like taking steps towards something. Like, okay, so I've talked like a lot about my experience of, sort of living in this state of belief and imagination. So I'm imagining myself at the top of a mountain and how great it is. Um, and I'm not necessarily like understanding that I have to take the steps to get up to the mountain. So, like the other day, I actually was going to climb, um, uh, it's actually a butte. It's not a mountain, but I was going to climb it, and there was all this water in the stream, and I just was like, okay, how am I going to get over this water to get to my path? And so I'm looking around trying to figure out, and I finally, a couple came by and they told me, oh, do it this way, and having to step from like this rock to this rock to this rock to hold on to this branch to get, over to the other side. I don't know, it's the practice. It's the practice of learning how to do this. I was thinking about this morning about how I was making a lot of decisions this summer based on this like higher, because it was like my brain just sort of went there. It went to this place of possibility, and it was no longer like, I don't know how to describe this except that it was no longer in like what was actually in front of me. It went to like possibilities, and it seemed like there were multiple, and I wasn't always sure exactly which one to take, and so I made some decisions during that time based on this. And even though I know that they can all be, there's nothing that none of it's a problem per se, but I've just had to really sift through and solve these different issues because I had made these decisions based on a place that I was not yet there in reality, in the seeming reality. I have to say the seeming reality, because it's just so interesting. And I guess we could like spend our whole life, spend our entire life. And I don't even know if that's necessarily a bad thing, to just spend the whole life, just living the day to day in this certain way, and not so living sort of like here and not here. And I don't mean that in like, maybe I should say here and here, because I was talking to a friend not that long ago. We were discussing vibration, I guess. I don't know. We were just discussing this idea And when we put it on top of each other, it really is like this sense of spiritual pride. Like, this is like better than this. And so like this person is on this level and this person is on this level. And then it comes this spiritual pride. I had a while ago, I had done a video on this, that this idea that you have sort of your spiritual hierarchy. You have your spiritual hierarchy. And like the only way I can describe it from my idea is like the Catholic Church. So you got the Pope, and then you've got your, I don't even know what it is, but say your cardinals, and then you've got your bishops, and then you've got your priests, and then you have your nuns. And then you have like these like lowly people who dare to fall in love, marry, and have children, and they're like down here. And I will say also this idea of this being like celibacy, like this idea of celibacy being a more spiritual place than somebody who has endeavored into a relationship, that has physical involvement. And so so it's like you're never going to reach this level of spiritual attunement because you've taken the lowly road of falling in love and having children, or not having children, or just being in a loving partnership, that somehow this is better than this. So it makes us all just think, oh, well, I'm never going to reach this level. I'm never going to reach this level of attunement. Like, and I, having studied enlightenment, whatever that means, and really had this feeling I will never reach that level. I mean, I'm not going to reach that level. And realizing now that is the barrier, that belief is the barrier in and of itself. The belief that you can't, or you won't, or it's too hard. It's like too hard to go after the life of our dreams. I had on my chat room, I had met this really, really great lady, and she had said something about this, this idea of, well, I'm not awake, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, you most certainly are awake. You just don't know you're awake. She most certainly is awake. She's very awake. Anyway, so getting back to my original like epiphany having to do with the steps to things, like, so we're wanting to, okay, so I'm going to go back to my coaching thing about Thanksgiving dinner. And you make a great dinner every day, but on Thanksgiving you want it to be special, and you prepare and you get a menu and you send out invitations and you get whatever's needed to prepare a beautiful table. You put on music, you buy nice wine, So there are steps, and I'm speaking mostly even to myself, that there are steps that I have to take in order to get to the top of the mountain. and also in enjoying the process of getting to the top of the mountain, because what's going to end up happening is once I get to the top of that mountain, I'm going to want to climb another one. I'm going to want to climb another one. We're going to want to climb another one. At least you know, people who have aspire to, I'm not even sure what I aspire to except trying to be the best version of myself that I can, whatever that means. Anyway, I love you guys. I just wanted to share my epiphany. Okay, bye.